Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I had a whole bunch of people send me this story. It's from roadandtrack.com, including Troy, my good friend. Thank you very much. Lucas Bell wrote this. A Porsche owner is going to receive $150,000 from a mechanic who kept her car for 11 years. You think, boy, he's doing really good work, right? No, the car's not fixed. The doctor is from Oxford University. She dropped her Porsche off for repairs in 2010, and it's taken until now to kind of get resolved, but it's not completely resolved. The Oxford University researcher has just been awarded more than $150,000 in damages by the Central London County Court following a strange saga involving her mechanic and a Porsche. According to the Daily Mail, the doctor specializes in Neanderthals and the mid-Paleolithic period. She's been with the esteemed university since '03. She purchased herself a 1997 Porsche back in '08, and the air-cooled sports car served as occasional transportation to Oxford until August of 2010, when she reportedly involved the vehicle in an accident in an attempt to avoid a pothole on a wet road, and the car developed an oil leak and would not start. Okay, those are the complaints. Oil leak and it wouldn't start. Following the accident, she enlisted the services of a local company to get the sports car back in order. The mechanic agreed to do the repair work, later issuing her invoices totaling about $12,000. Unfortunately, little to no progress was reportedly made on the car over the next decade or so, and her attempts to receive updates on the work were reportedly met with extreme hostility, leaving her unwilling to push further. So she went as far as to purchase an Audi in 2014 as a replacement, and so she had something to drive at least. After receiving yet another verbal confirmation on the work in progress in 2016, she began searching for different mechanics to repair the car. Despite those efforts, the mechanic refused to release the car to her. So she filed a court claim in 2022. That's when the mechanic allegedly dropped the stripped shell of the Porsche off in front of her home. The engine and transmission were reportedly missing, along with other key components. And so the woman now claims this created undue distress for her. So she sued the mechanic for compensation for breach of contract and for conversion. One of my favorite counts. The court has sided with her, awarding her approximately $152,000 in damages. Of course, they did it in pounds. He didn't complete the work with reasonable care and skill. Indeed, he didn't complete it at all, although there is no significant criticism of the way he undertook his diagnosis, said the judge. So apparently he diagnosed the problem. He just didn't do the work. Both sides will return to court soon to discuss issues such as interest payments, legal costs, and whether an appeal is viable for the mechanic, according to the Daily Mail. Hopefully those winnings will help the woman here rebuild her Porsche. So a couple of things to point out. The conversion claim obviously has to do with the missing parts of the car. Conversion is a civil action involving misappropriation of somebody else's stuff. And I'm purposely describing it as broadly as possible because you might go, but Steve, isn't that theft? Generally speaking, theft is if I take something of yours. And it's robbery if I take it from you by force. But what if you give it to me and I misuse it? That's conversion. And so you give me the car to work on, and while I'm working on it, I strip it for parts and I give you back the shell. Well, I didn't steal those things from you because I had them in my possession. It was already in my possession. And so the law defines it as different as conversion. And that is, for all intents and purposes, similar to theft in terms of what a person can get if they're a victim of it. Okay? So in Michigan, for instance, if you steal something from somebody, you become liable under a statute, MCL 600-2919A, theft or conversion will allow a person to sue you for treble damages and attorney fees and court costs. But conversion is something going on here. But I have to point out, some of the people in my audience have already remembered this. I did a case about a person in Michigan who took their car to a dealership to have the tires rotated. And the dealership took the tires off, rotated them, and put them back on wrong, such that one of them or two of them fell off as the car was being driven down the road. And the court said, well, on appeal, the court said, well, they started the job, therefore they performed the job. Because in Michigan, there's a statute that says that motor vehicle mechanics, if working on a vehicle and they take your money, they've got to perform the repairs. Elsewhere, it says they've got to complete the repairs. But the court focused on the perform the repairs and said, well, they performed. They performed. Performed means you did something. They did something. Therefore, they performed. You can't sue them for that. Now, you could try to sue them for negligence or something, but that's a lot harder to do because just trust me on that one. And also, attorney fees aren't recoverable in a negligence claim in Michigan. And likewise, the damages can be different and so on. But the point simply is that here, a court has rightly said, the guy takes your money to do work. If he didn't complete the work that you paid for, then you're entitled to damages. And likewise, you're entitled to damages for compensation for the missing pieces of the car, right? And so the fact of the matter is, it took 11 years to get where she is right now, and she's further back than when she started because she's missing the engine and transmission to her car. I mean, this is bizarre. But what's going to blow your mind is when I tell you that I get phone calls like this periodically. Maybe not once every year, but I've probably had 5 or 10 of these in my career where someone's called me and said, I have a very, very unusual car. It's not a typical car that you see every day. And it's oftentimes in America, it's often a foreign car and a few years older and the type of car where finding somebody who can work on it is difficult. And I had one just a couple years ago. Guy calls me up and he goes, I've got this unusual car. I went on the internet to look for people who could work on it. I found a discussion bulletin board someplace, and there was a guy who appeared to know a lot about this stuff, and people said, yeah, this guy's worked on my stuff before. So I take the car to him. He looks at it, goes, yes, I can work on this. Give me some money. I'll get started. Here's what I do. Boom, 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 boom. Gives him a write-up, right? And then nothing happens. Communications break down. And next thing you know, a person goes by the shop, and it doesn't appear to be open. It's all locked up. Can't see in the windows. No one returns phone calls. No one returns emails. Not even sure the car is still in there. And I've heard of these stories, and I've heard of them where they've taken years. And as I'm talking about this right now, I just remembered another one where they brought the car to the shop to have it worked on there, and when they went in to complain, the car wasn't there anymore. They said, where's our car? And the guy said, oh, I ran out of space. It's in storage someplace else. They said, where is that? Now you wonder, is the guy trying to make the car disappear? What's the guy doing? So this is a problem. And a lot of people want me to give these bright line answers like, well, here's how you avoid that from happening to you. I wish I could. But if you've got some strange car that there's only 13 of them in North America, and there's only one guy who actually knows how to fix them, and he's a bad businessman but a great mechanic, you might have trouble. And so this is the kind of thing you run into. Now, interestingly, a Porsche is not that crazy unusual of a car, especially in Europe. So the fact that she ran into this kind of problem on a Porsche, I don't know. I mean, she could have taken it to a dealership. I assume she didn't because she was trying to save a little bit of money, but here we are. So 11 years later, she's got a judgment against the guy, and that gets you to the next question, is it collectible? Because I can't tell you how many judgments I got against repair shops in my career. And you get a judgment against a company like that, and it may or may not be collectible, so you don't know. So I don't know if she got the judgment against him personally or against his company. It's not that clear from the story. But the point is that she won. That's some kind of victory, right? And she has a judgment. And then, of course, keep in mind, I tell you, in America, we follow the American rule. But in England, they don't. They follow the English rule. And the English rule is that a prevailing party gets their attorney fees and court costs paid sometimes by the losing party. And the court will decide whether that is the correct thing to do. And I suspect the judge is going to go, gee, you took her money, you took her car, you kept parts of her car or lost them, and she was forced to sue you 11 years after you took the car. Guess what? So if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would have bet that the judge is going to order him to pay those attorney fees and court costs as well. We'll see. As of right now, though, she's got a judgment against her for 114,000 pounds, or about $1.52, as I like to say, in American. Porsche owner to receive $150,000 from a mechanic who kept her car for 11 years and then returned parts of it to her when she filed suit. From roadandtrack.com, Lucas Bell wrote that. Troy and others sent it to me. Thanks a lot. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. I believe 5 out of 4 people have trouble with fractions.